I joined LegalMatch. It was some time ago. I want to say at least 10 years ago. It's probably more than 10 years. And I joined it because it appealed to me from a marketing standpoint. I wanted to have a greater presence online and advertise the firm to the public, and LegalMatch seemed like a perfect fit for that. So I've been quite pleased with that, and the marketing impact that's had has been very good. Very happy with it. LegalMatch allows the firm to get its name out there on the internet. A lot of potential clients, they tell me that when they're go online to look for an attorney, they'll Google or go on under L for LegalMatch. LegalMatch pops up. So it's I think LegalMatch has good positioning online, and LegalMatch it's been great to work with. I mean, I always have a representative that answer any of my questions when they come up, or if they come up, and they check in periodically. But it's like LegalMatch has been like the perfect waiter or waitress in a restaurant. They're there to assist you, but they don't come to your table too often so you can enjoy your dinner. Absolutely, 100%. If they had no intention of competing with what I'm trying to do, then I would give them 100% endorsement, because I don't want to compete against myself. And I say that in jest. Just make sure you're responsive to the client, and try to have an appreciation of the economics of the law, because most clients care about that, the economics of the law. I think they appreciate that. And just try to be responsive to the client and communicate with the client, because that helps the image and reputation of LegalMatch. If you're a LegalMatch attorney, in a sense, LegalMatch is your client. Technically, they're not, but in a sense, they are, because they're helping you with your marketing, and you need to view it that way. I tell clients I view their case as if it's my own case, and it shouldn't be any different with LegalMatch. LegalMatch would like to know that the attorneys who represent the clients, that receive clients through LegalMatch. Again, LegalMatch is not the client, but they certainly have an interest in knowing that the attorney is being responsive to the client and providing legal services that are competent services at an economical cost. And that's what I would tell young attorneys is, be responsive to the client, not only in communication, but on the economics of the service that they're providing. And if they do that, then the young attorney they'll have satisfied clients, they'll get repeat business, and it's a good reflection on the young attorney's service and their firm, and it's a good reflection on LegalMatch, because they're LegalMatch counsel, and they obtain the client through the marketing assistance of LegalMatch. I have the LegalMatch cases come in on the computer. They're prompted in on the computer, and what I try to do is I try to be responsive to those as quickly as possible, because especially with a lot of the marketing online, I mean, you don't even want to wait a day or two to respond, because everybody's, I guess, for good or bad, everybody's moving a lot faster now today than a decade or two ago. So you can't dither. You have to, you monitor your computer and try to be responsive as you can, and get back to the LegalMatch referral same day if you can. I mean, I think if you delay even a day, if you can't get back to somebody later in the afternoon, that's understandable. But I think you should try to get back to them the following morning, or you probably lose the opportunity. But I would say it's made a positive contribution. I mean, it's profitable. I mean, the revenues exceed the expense, and I guess that's the bottom line. But again, I also have to tell you that there are a number of prospective LegalMatch clients. They'll call in. I can readily discern that, given the damages in their case, I don't think it justifies hiring a full-time lawyer, again, going back to the economics of the law. And so I'll give them advice on the phone. I don't even charge them. I just give them free advice. Sometimes they're just astounded that they could chat with an attorney for 10 minutes, get some practical advice and I'm just hanging up the phone. I'm not even billing them. And that's a great reflection on LegalMatch. It's a great reflection on our firm. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, because I can discern within the first couple of minutes. I ask them, what are the damages? What is your injury? That's one of my first questions. I mean, you can talk about liability all day long, but anytime and again, this is litigation, and even with the transaction, I'll talk to them. In litigation, there's always two overarching issues. One's liability and the other's damages, and you got to have both. So I'll ask them what their damages is, and then I back into, if your damages, if you have a motorcycle that wasn't returned and it's worth $3,200, you're going to want to pay $1,000 or $2,000 to chase $3,000. So I'm having that conversation in 5 minutes, and then if they say that doesn't make a lot of sense to them, then I tell them about an alternative, a small claims court, and in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm off, and they know they've got some practical advice. I'm not charging them. They think LegalMatch, it's a great service that LegalMatch just provided, because they got to talk to an attorney for 10 minutes. They didn't have to pay for it. And that's fine. I do that. That's obviously, I want clients to hire me, but I'm not going to do it unless it makes sense economically for the client. And it's the same in the transaction area. Early on, I'll ask them if it's a contract document or some kind of a transaction document, am I going to charge on an hourly basis or on a flat fee? And if it makes more sense to charge on a flat fee so the client knows the price, then that's what I'm going to do. So it's all about communication. It's all about the economics. And that's what a lot of clients out there are looking for from the legal community, frankly. I think they want to get legal advice at an economical cost, most people. And that's what I try to bring. LegalMatch, that's a plus during COVID, right? It's an online service that unfortunately, a lot of businesses have suffered. A lot have gone out of business, sustained heavy losses during the COVID crisis. I think most people want the country to get back to its business. It's a difficult problem. It's a big country. I don't think you can treat a country of this size the same. One size doesn't fit all. It's too big. It's too big a country. So we got to play smart. The online business is doing well through COVID. I'm just glad we have the technology for that. And I think LegalMatch fills that need. And there's more of a need for online services now than there was before, given the COVID problem. I think I have a website, and that LegalMatch has helped during the COVID problem, and any online marketing or client sourcing is a real plus, especially during the pandemic. I have most of my business is from word of mouth, historical representation, and just interaction in the Scottsdale area, Phoenix, over the years. But the online marketing, it always helps, and it's even better during a pandemic. You have a lot of businesses that are not operating. Been so satisfied with LegalMatch, I haven't bothered to check competitors or match them up, see how they're doing. I think LegalMatch does a good job on its own. I like its positioning online under the L for LegalMatch. When the consumers when they inquire, I think it gets a lot of hits. And I think the LegalMatch representatives have been good because, like I say, they've just been like the perfect waiter or waitress. I can't give you a better metaphor at dinner. They're there when you want them, but they leave you alone so you can enjoy your dinner. It's really, I can't think of a better metaphor than that, which has been nice. I probably get a LegalMatch inquiry. I probably get in a 5-day business week, I might get 3 or 4 a week, 3 to 5 a week. Out of 5, I may get 1. 1 week, I might get 1 out of 5. The next week, none. The next week, I might get 2. But as I said earlier, in the business area, that most of the business inquiries have a smaller dollar amount that's the subject of the inquiry. When I say smaller, less than 10 grand. If they're not signed up, it's not necessarily me. I'm telling them that they don't need the expense of an attorney and show them how they can do it on their own because of the economics of the law. Now, I only do that if, depending on the amount that's on the table, because at the end of the day, if I'm economical and I can give them sound advice, in the long run, they're going to think a lot more about my firm. They're going to think a lot more about LegalMatch, because the client hangs up thinking, there's an attorney who cares about the economics of the law. He's not just pulling me in and going to charge me. He actually cares about my situation and cares about the cost. A lot of people, they really like that a lot. And that's a good reflection on LegalMatch. So that's how I like to do it now. But if the damages, if they're over 5 or 10 grand, I'm your guy. Hire me. You got me through LegalMatch and try to sign them up. But I would say I might get per month, probably 3 or 4, maybe 3 clients a month, 4 a month on the average through LegalMatch. Knowing that I have an online, marketing source to add to my website, and getting the regular inquiries coming in, that's a benefit to the firm, because it's nice to know that we're going to have this fairly consistent, constant stream of inquiries each week. Even if it's 3 to 5 a week, it's fine. It's good. It's good stuff.